It's time for another Tech It Out Thursday. Zeta Spacio here again to show you an approach to gain more knowledge about your customers you may meet at a focused conference. Our journey today is going to take you from looking at Burbio information to putting that in Drive, then having Gemini look at that information and then putting it back in Drive as a sales opportunity and information about that district. Okay, so what you're looking at is the Atlantic City School District document that I created using information from Burbio, which was the board documents. So I searched for that. Then I brought that board document into Google, and depending on whether I needed to change it to a doc or keep it as a PDF, I then fed it into Gemini into a gem that I created that really just focused on sales and thinking about education and possible solutions that might make it best for that school district. And then this is what it created from those board documents. So you can see it talks specifically about their budgets and their opportunities here. And then specifically underneath, the second step was aligning with their key strategic initiatives and looking at where their funding is going for those initiatives and where it's going specifically, if they have any secondary ones like STEM and robotics here, health. So it really breaks it down into those areas of where they're looking to spend. Then it also broke down who are the people to talk to. Who are the champions and decision makers from superintendents to CTE to Perkins to curriculum writers. And lastly, it talks about the engagement. I was setting this up for the New Jersey board workshop, which was the conference, but they have other fall conferences and things going on that we actually missed. But you can see they are going and being actively presenting in these, and that's why they were showing those. And then the last thing is it gave a sales actions. What are things to do with this group? So you can see it was pretty easy to set up. It's just knowing those steps. So now I'm going to show you how to do that. All right, so let me take you what I did for this document. So first of all, I went into the school board doc in Burbio and picked the state. And then I went down to the school board docs and I just looked at the keywords, but basically they were a lot of them just showing that they had a board meeting and they had a link to the document. And so as long as it had something in there, I knew I could grab this. And again, this was for just to know a little bit more about these school board members coming in. So have something specific to talk about with their pain points, their funding, their ideas, where their initiatives are. So I clicked on link document and it's going to open up the board meeting. So when I look at that, I say, okay, there's the board meeting notes. Now, how do I get that so I can use it? So I add it to my drive and it creates a shortcut. Most of the time, PDFs are going to create a shortcut. I put it in a specific folder to help me. And so now it's in that folder. So now I'll go to that folder and you'll see it in there, but it's with a shortcut. So what you'll notice is it has a little arrow key on it. So you're going to see when I do the actual Gemini. Okay, so now I'm in Gemini and I just ask it to create one for Jersey City. And of course, I've done this before, so I'll show you behind the scenes how I do it. But quickly, once I've already made it, I add it from the drive. Now, since it's in that PDF form, I click insert and notice it doesn't do it. And it's because it's not able to download because it's a shortcut. I don't actually have the physical document. It's just a link to it. What I need to do is open it up as a Google Doc. And so you can go to any of
Okay, so
them.
now with
There's
the
doc in there. The restrictions are gone, and now I can use it in Gemini. So now when I go back to upload it along with to analyze it, I can just select the Google Doc and it inserts it in there. And now, of course, I hit submit. Once it analyzes the board document, it's going to give me all of those strategies and all the things that it was able to pull from that huge 100 and whatever document. So it shows their funding, it's going to show where their pain points are, how ZSpace could be a solution for what they're trying to do. It aligns to key strategies that we have along with funding and where we can look at. So every time it's looking at an angle from CTE to healthcare to all sorts of initiatives, and it pulls out what they're doing and how maybe ZSpace could be a part of that. Even puts in where their funding is coming from, what they're spending on. So all of those are put into effect. So you have a great snapshot of what that district is really doing. especially in these September board meetings. It seems to be pretty vital because it's almost like explaining the roadmap for how the year's going to go for that board. For most of them, especially in the Northeast, this is like their first meeting to really explain where all the money's going. Um, so once I get that information from Gemini, I just open up that same doc again that had the board meeting in it from the Google Doc and just paste over everything because I don't need that data anymore. It's already been analyzed. So now just formatting and getting it so it looks nice, but you'll see there's lots of points and action items on there, which makes it really, really valuable for anybody who's just looking and saying, okay, what can I talk to this district about? Who do I need to talk to? What are the things that will help me most carve ZSpace as a sensible thing for them to get? And so you can see going through that, and I'll give everybody access
Okay,
to the
now we're
full.
gonna
Look inside what I did in that gem that I created. So it's the CLO gem, nothing special, just named Chief Learning Officer. So I acted like a chief learning officer, a marketing director, and lead for education, promoting customer growth and satisfaction using ZSpace and sharing what they can do in education. That's really it. That's all I've given it. Then Okay, so then I just put the first prompt. What can you take from this document to help sales efforts for ZSpace at the school district? And that's what I used over and over. And I just asked it to repeat for different school districts. All right, that's it for this Tech It Out Thursday. Join us again and learn some great stuff. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask and put it in the chat, and we will be able to help. Ciao.